Okay, yeah, shalom everyone. We apologize for the tardiness. We had a few problems with the internet here. But tonight we're going to be going into a lesson dealing with basically showing the different history of blacks or the Israelites through different points of time in history. So tonight's lesson is going to be called The Israelites in Antiquity. And we're going to also be going through a little bit of history of the Israelites and their rulership in Europe. And the reason I wanted to go into this is because when we go into the Bible and different information, a lot of people tend to say that the Bible is the white man's book and things of that nature. And that, you know, because it's the white man's book, it's no need for us to go into the Bible. Or you have situations like in our learning institutions, when we go to school in these different institutions and learn about history, we learn that all the great men who ever stepped foot in Europe, or all the great men that are written of in the Bible, are people of European descent. And we want to show that according to history itself, that's contrary. So what we want to first do is we want to go into the Bible. For those who may be a little new to the Bible, we want to go into the Bible and show you different scriptures and information to let you know that the people of the Bible, the great people that you read of in the Bible, Moses, Aaron, the prophets, the disciples, Christ himself, were all men of color. We're also going to go into a little bit of European history and different history of the world to show you that some of the greatest men who ever stepped foot in the land of Europe were men of color, were Israelites. We want to start off in the Bible. We're going to we're in Genesis chapter 1. We're in Genesis, the first chapter. Okay, we in Genesis chapter 1, and we at verse 26. Read that.
The book of Genesis. And the Most High said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth."
Read it again.
Genesis 1 and 26. And the Most High said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness."
So it says, "And the Most High said," or "and the Allahayim said." So the question is, if the men that the Most High created are men of color, and which we're going to show you, what does that say about the Most High and what's going on in the heavens with the angels and as far as the heavenly realm? We're going to show that without a shadow of a doubt that Adam, the prophets, Moses, Aaron, the disciples, Christ, were all men of color. So if these were men of color, then what does that say about the Most High himself, if he said that he's going to make man within his image? Let's get Genesis chapter.
Genesis 2 and 7. And the Lord power formed man of the dust of the ground.
And it says the Most High formed man of the dust of the ground. The question is, what is the color of the dust of the ground? Let's get Jeremiah chapter 14 verse 2 to show you the color of the dust of the ground. We in Jeremiah chapter 14 verse 2. Read.
Jeremiah 14 and 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground.
Read that again.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
So it says Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. Read on.
They are black unto the ground.
And it says they are black unto the ground. So not only is this showing that the children of Judah are black unto the ground, that they're dark skinned, it's also letting you know the color of the ground or the color of the earth. In the Hebrew, it's Qudar wa la'aratiza, which means black unto the ground or black unto the earth. So when you read Genesis chapter 2, verse 2 and 7, when it says that the Most High made man of the dust of the ground or the dust of the earth, is letting you know that the dust of the ground is black, is dark. Let's go back to Genesis.
Genesis 2 and 7. And the Lord power formed man of the dust of the ground.
So it says the Most High formed man of the dust of the ground. Now remember, we just read in Genesis chapter 1 and 26, where it says that the Most High made man in his image and in his likeness. So if the Most High made man in his image and in his likeness, about the Most High, how it looks if he created man out of the black dust of the ground. To let you know that the Most High himself is a man of color. The angels are of color. Let's get Genesis chapter 42 and 8. We in Genesis chapter 42 and 8, going into Joseph, and I want to skim through these real quick because I know you've probably heard these scriptures over 100 times. So I want to try to skip through these, or rush through them, so we can kind of get a basis. This is basically for those who are probably kind of new to the understanding, who might be viewing us. But we have people who've been, who might have seen these scriptures over 100 times. So we want to kind of try to skim through it. So we're in Genesis chapter 42, verse 8.
Genesis 42 and 8. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him.
So it says Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. We understand that at this point in time, Joseph became a ruler within the land of Egypt. So his brother came to visit him, and it says that Joseph knew his brethren. So Joseph was able to recognize his brethren, but yet his brethren was not able to recognize him. Let you know that Joseph was a man of color because he was amongst the Egyptians, who are also people of color. Let's get Genesis 45 and 4.
Genesis chapter 45, verse 4. Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt.
Read that again.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt.
So once again, it's showing you that Joseph was able to recognize his brother, but yet his brethren was not able to recognize him. So Joseph had to reveal himself unto his brethren. And when you read earlier in the book of Genesis, it lets you know that Joseph, after he became ruler of Egypt, or after he was getting power from the Pharaoh of Egypt, he put on Egyptian raiment and he put on Egyptian garments, and he basically looked like an Egyptian. He blended in with the Egyptians. So he was surprised when his brothers came amongst him and seen him that they wasn't able to recognize him because he looked just like him. So Joseph had to reveal himself unto his brethren to let him know that, to let his brother know that he was one of them, that he was there. He sold into captivity. Now Joseph was white, like is portrayed throughout history. If he was white, or if the Israelites were white, then they could have easily came into the land of Egypt, which is full of black people, and been able to point out Joseph, their brother, if he was white. But yet it's not so. And to show that he was one of them, that he was the same brother that they sold into Egypt. Let's get Exodus chapter 2. And before you go, let's get we have a book called Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers. And this goes into a lot of history of blacks in Europe and blacks in different places throughout the earth other than Africa, because in history it's portrayed that only blacks can be found in Africa. But we can look today and see that that's not true at all. You can find blacks in Europe, you can find blacks in America, you can find blacks in Asia, you can find blacks all over the earth. But yet they'll tell you that blacks only exist in Africa. So this book goes into a lot of history of the blacks throughout the earth. And I want to read something real quick on the Egyptians in case anybody may be viewing who may not understand that the Egyptians are people of color. because even today